about it. I'll just say this about Medina. Community service is what this guy's all about. For years and years and years, not only involved with pole and baseball, as a manager, a coach, a league director, vice president of softball, his most significant contribution to the organization was after spending a couple of years in Michigan on business. When he came back and rejoined the organization, he came to us and said, hey, let's start a travel softball program inside the rec program. It had never been done in this area before. Fast pitch softball travel was getting big 15, 18 years ago. Thunder Elite, Sting, I forget some of the names, but those were some of the prominent ones. And hey, that's not a bad idea. And the goal was, let the kids play rec ball during the week and we'll take the best ones and we'll go travel some on the weekend. Novel idea back then. It's common day now, as you guys well know. All we did was fund it. He took it off and ran with it. He'll tell you more about that in a minute, but that was John's most significant contribution to this organization. We named it the Pole and Pride, and for years, in 3 different age groups, 10, 12, and 14, I know they've been very, very successful. To the point that I'm glad to see that the guys on the boys' side have copied that and had formed their dogs program and now have teams at all the different age groups, I think starting at 8, maybe up through 11 or 12 now. And so that's the way to go. If you can keep these kids playing for you during the week and give them the opportunity to travel for you on the weekends instead of letting them get away, that's definitely the right route to go. John's been involved in community service with not only this organization. When I stepped away in '06, I immediately got sucked in to chairing the committee known as the Turf Club. Over that time, we raised a lot of money, got the turf installed at the high school. The only reason, or one of the reasons I said I would chair it, is if I could pick the committee. John was one of the first guys I asked because of our involvement with baseball together. 5 years later, we have turf at the high school, and to be honest with you, that's going to be replaced here in the next year. Nice. Just keep that in your back pocket. It's 11 years old, you'll get a 12th season, you're going to get a new turf field and a new track out at the high school. I just happen to have a little inside scoop on that. Besides John being involved with the Turf Club, then when we folded that up, he decides he can't just take it easy. He's got to go and get involved with the Touchdown Club, and he's been running their golf outing for the last 10 years. He couldn't allow me to have some spare time, so I've been with him now for the last 7 years, helping him run a very successful Touchdown Club golf outing for the high school football team. Our years with the Turf Club, our group, 17 of us, raised over $840,000. That was the year before the economy crashed in '08. If we'd have waited one more year, we could have never done it. John's group has raised over $200,000 for the high school football program in the last 10 years. And I've been very proud to help him with that. Nothing is more important to John than his family, his church, and his community. And so at this point, I'd like to present John Medina.
So, what Bob didn't tell you is I drove him crazy all those years. First of all, Bob, thank you, it was beautiful. Lisa, we spent a lot of years together, so to have you here with me is special. Congratulations. Zell, thank you to you and the trustees, Zell, Jim, Paul, Greg, and Corey, and Danny. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak a little bit here. And Sonny, here in the back, I told him I'd have to do it in 8 minutes, and that's the way it looks. This dinner's at 7:30. For the committee, Jimmy Timko, thank you. It's beautiful to be back. It's nice to see everybody here. It's nice to share stories, and it's wonderful to be a part of this. Sam Fisher, I don't know, couldn't make it, but Sam obviously was on the committee. Bruno Romeo, thank you. Greg, and then Paul, again, thank you. It's an honor. My family's here tonight. I want to kind of thank them because, as you guys know, when you get involved in the community, it's a family event. So I started because of my history with PCBA. I grew up in the organization. I'm a product of PCBA. I started in the association back in 1970 as a T-ball player. Today, my kids graduated from Poland, and the community and having them here tonight is special. So I want to introduce my daughter, Jenna, who graduated in 2008. Yeah. And my son-in-law, Ron, tonight. My daughter-in-law, Rachel, and my son, Johnny, who graduated in 2011.
Yes.
And I'm still doing it, guys. We started all over. My wife, Maria, and I started all over. We have a 13-year-old in 7th grade, and many of you here tonight coaching your daughters and your sons are part of that 7th grade class with Antonio. So it's about family, and certainly my wife put up with me all those years, and so my wife Maria is here tonight, and I couldn't do that without our family. If you guys remember the many years of being at the softball fields and baseball fields, you know, your kids are right there with you. They're eating pizza late. They're also dragging the fields with you, sometimes taking the golf carts and running them over ditches. Jenna. And Mark helped me. Mark Naples over here helping me bill out the carts because the girls are running all over the place with the carts. Those are good memories. But for me, what really brings it to the involvement and really dedicating the time comes from my years as a young man playing in PCBA. And what really brings it to today, when we talk about PCBA and what it offers, is the community, the faith, and the organization. And so what you do is important, folks. And if I could say anything tonight, what we hear a lot of in talking to people outside of Poland is what makes Poland so special. And it's the people here tonight and the people that Bob talked about in the Hall of Fame that have been so dedicated. I think when we look about what makes it special, it starts with organizations like this. It starts with people that dedicate their time, whether they have kids in the organization. Bob Richards, 16 years, no kids to speak of. But his kids were a part of the thousands that were a part of PCBA. That's what makes it special. And when I think about growing up and what it offered me, starting in T-ball and then ending in, believe it or not, Tri-T when I was 16 years old, before going on to high school, is all the people that dedicated time to help us, to help me as a young man. And so I think it's special to be a part of this organization. And when you think about what brings Poland together for all the regional and the state championships, and all the things that we see today, even with our basketball teams, our girls and our boys, and how well they're doing, it's people like this. So don't underestimate what you bring to the community and what makes Poland special. Know that it put a big impact in my life and why I wanted to dedicate and spend time in doing the things in the association to give back. And a couple things that Bob talked about on the girls' side, because Sonny's starting to prepare the food. When we decided to do this, it was unheard of. You needed coaches like Mark Naples standing over here and Jimmy Sarich that were going to dedicate time. Sam Fisher, who's not here. Dave Namath. Men like that said, we'll help you, John. The girls at that time, Bob and Sam Fisher gave a report. I'll never forget the financial report. And really what it came down to is the girls' program was dragging the association down. And we needed to do something about it. It was costing us money, and we were failing, and the enrollment was dropping. So, having a daughter, just like Mark, just like Jimmy, just like Bob sitting over here, and so we're not going to do that. And so we came back and said, let's bring and let's challenge all those girls that are going to community travel programs and travel programs outside of the community. Let's bring that travel here. Let's be competitive here. Let's keep everything inside the community of Poland. So for the girls who wanted to play competitively, they could, but we would still keep the community association going. And what that meant was I had coaches that agreed that they would start to split up the girls so that talented girls that really were competitive and wanted to play travel ball, that meant that they would be separated so that we had a couple of good girls playing with girls who are just learning the game. And so that's tough because coaches are competitive. They want the best players. We didn't do it that way. And what that meant is that we would start to teach the game so girls today would love it. They would understand it. They would understand community, dedication. They would understand family. And they would understand how to lose and how to win. And they became better for it. A lot of those girls that were on my team, my first year coach, I went 0-12. As my daughter, she was a part of it. At 0-12, though, sticks in my mind because as years went on, those girls became high school players. We were winning regional championships. What about that? Because we took the time to spend with our kids so they learned the game. It wasn't about winning championships. It was about teaching them about a love and a commitment and community. We went to the point where we would brought in experienced coaches to help us. Mark Naples spent time learning from the best area coaches that taught him how to pitch so he could teach the girls. Sam Fisher and Dave Namath on how to hit. And we would do clinics. And so everybody was invited. And if you wanted to travel on the weekend and you showed the dedication, you were on the travel team. So guess what? If we had 18 kids in a division, we were traveling. And sometimes we'd have 2 divisions because they weren't excluded because they had the passion and we brought them right along. And I guess what I'm saying to all of that is that dedication is what you guys have brought to the table. And that's why when people say, what makes Poland so special? I think it's the people here in this room that know that it's more about just trophies and winning. It's about a program that today we can be proud of. We have Jimmy Serge as our high school coach. And having him here today, knowing the time that he spent in the organization, as well as Mark and others that are not here today, is what makes it today special. So, I mean, in closing, I think when I look at the PCBA and the organization, and what makes it special is the people. It's real simple. We talk about our faith, our family, our community, and that's what we're doing here today, is to bring that to our kids so that someday, and I have a granddaughter, she's 1.5 years, she's my pitcher. I have another granddaughter who's my catcher. She's about 6 weeks old. We're starting to build already. Get that team together, Mark. And so it's those dedications, it's those pitching clinics. Mark renting a building up in Struthers to have pitching lessons, because we knew pitching and hitting was a deficit for us. And lining those kids up on a Sunday night and pitching and working with them, that's the dedication that brings greatness, the community and faith and family, and why Poland's a wonderful community, why the PCBA organization offers so much. So, in closing, again, I will tell you thank you. Congratulations, Lisa. I appreciate the opportunity. But it's the people in this room that makes it great. So it's wonderful to be here. I wanted to share some things with you. And I hope that when you're frustrated, when you wonder where it's all going, that you understand that I can see the young as well as the old that makes our community wonderful. And that's why this organization is important. And Bob, thank you for giving us some of the history. And I'll tell you one last thing. When we play travel, we get our butts kicked. Ask my wife, ask my daughter. It was tough. It was our first 12U team. We lost every game, but we got better. Because when their players would go home, there'd be only 1 and 2 that would want home to that community. Our kids were going home to Poland. Got to the point where I think I created a lot of alcoholics with the parents. True story. They'd have to go drink because we'd go to tournaments. And it was so challenging. We were getting destroyed. Our second year, we added a 10U team. So we had a 12U pride and a 10U pride. And the lights that you see today of those state championships that you'd see with Aaron Gabriel and Jessica Modic and so many other great players. We started adding that 10U team. Our second year, our 12U team started winning games. And I'll never forget, we played the Canton Rattlers. And in that tournament, it was at Akron Firestone Stadium. And we got beat 12-7. It was tough because that was our first competitive game, and our girls got beat. And they were in tears, they were crying. I'll never forget, the director at that time was Joe Arrieta. She was the professional coach for the Akron Racers in Canton. I'm sorry, in Akron. At Akron Firestone Stadium. She came down to the girls and said, "Girls, that's the best game I've ever seen you guys play. And believe me, I watched you play some really miserable ball. But that's the best play. But remember this, one day when you get in high school, you're going to be at this stadium playing for championships. Trust me." Fast forward years later, our first regional championship, we're in Akron Firestone. Mark, remember this? Jimmy, Bob, comes down on the field and said, "Hey girls, remember me?" I was the coach that came up to you and said, "One day you'll be sitting at the stadium because the program develops. And when it develops, this is what you get." She said, "You guys should be proud of yourself." And here you are playing at your high school. And that year we played Akron Hogan, by the way. Our high school played in the region championship. We lost, close game. But that was what the Poland Pride started to do, is develop parents, coaches, and community, and fun, and in energy. The kids that were the lousy ones that went 0-12 were now playing in a region championship. So I challenge you to keep it going. It's a passion that helped me go to some wonderful opportunities through the association, and it's a challenge for our kids to be able to play that. And it's about what you see today and why Poland's special. And believe me, we get asked that question a lot. So thank you, God bless you. I'm done studying. What time is it, Sonny? 7:30, and I'm finished. Thank you.
Real quick, we do have one